fighting disease, immunity, and drugs. The human body is constantly exposed to microorganisms that can cause disease. These microorganisms are called pathogens. They include bacteria, viruses, and other microscopic organisms. If these pathogens enter the body and begin to multiply, they can make a person ill. However, the body has several defense systems that work together to protect it. The first line of defense is made up of physical and chemical barriers that stop pathogens from entering the body in the first place. The skin acts as a strong physical barrier. It prevents most pathogens from entering the body. It also produces antimicrobial substances that help kill harmful microorganisms. Inside the nose, there are tiny hairs and sticky mucus. These trap particles, such as dust and bacteria, before they can enter deeper into the body. In the airways, including the trachea and bronchi, mucus is also produced to trap pathogens. Tiny hair-like structures called cilia move this mucus upwards towards the throat. The mucus is then swallowed, and any pathogens it contains are destroyed in the stomach. The stomach contains hydrochloric acid. This acid creates a very harsh environment that kills many pathogens that have been swallowed. These defenses are called non-specific because they act against a wide range of pathogens, not just one specific type. If pathogens manage to get past these barriers, the immune system takes over. The immune system is made up of specialized cells and tissues that identify and destroy invading microorganisms. The most important cells involved are white blood cells. White blood cells move around the body in the blood and constantly check for pathogens. When they detect something foreign, they respond in several ways. One method is phagocytosis. In this process, a white blood cell surrounds a pathogen, engulfs it, and then digests it. This effectively destroys the invading organism. Another method involves producing antitoxins. Some bacteria release harmful substances called toxins. Antitoxins neutralize these toxins and reduce their harmful effects. The third method is the production of antibodies. Each pathogen has unique molecules on its surface. These are called antigens. When white blood cells detect these antigens, they produce antibodies that are specific to that pathogen. These antibodies attach to the pathogens and mark them for destruction. Once the body has produced the correct antibodies, it can respond much faster if the same pathogen enters the body again. This is why people often become immune to certain diseases after being infected once. Vaccination is a method used to create immunity without causing the disease itself. A vaccine contains a small amount of a dead or inactive pathogen. This is enough to trigger the immune system to produce antibodies, but not enough to make the person ill. If the real pathogen later enters the body, the immune system recognizes it immediately and destroys it quickly. Vaccination has been very effective in controlling many diseases. It reduces the spread of infections and can protect large populations. However, vaccines are not perfect. In rare cases, they may not work or may cause mild side effects. Despite this, the benefits of vaccination are much greater than the risks. Not all diseases can be prevented by vaccination, so drugs are often used to treat infections. There are different types of drugs, and they work in different ways. Painkillers are drugs that reduce symptoms such as pain or fever. However, they do not kill pathogens. This means they do not cure the disease, but they help the person feel better. Antibiotics are drugs that kill bacteria or stop them from growing. They are very effective against bacterial infections. However, antibiotics do not work against viruses. This is because viruses live and reproduce inside human cells, making them difficult to target without damaging the body's own cells. One major problem with antibiotics is antibiotic resistance. Sometimes bacteria mutate and become resistant to an antibiotic. This means the drug no longer works against them. When antibiotics are used, non-resistant bacteria are killed, but resistant bacteria survive and reproduce. Over time, this leads to populations of bacteria that are difficult to treat. To slow down antibiotic resistance, it is important to use antibiotics carefully. Doctors avoid prescribing them unless necessary, and patients must complete the full course of treatment. Drugs have been developed in different ways. Some drugs come from plants. For example, aspirin was originally developed from a chemical found in willow. Other drugs come from microorganisms. Penicillin was discovered when a scientist noticed that mold was killing bacteria in a dish. Today, many drugs are produced in laboratories by chemists, although some are still based on natural substances. Question and answer section. Question: what are pathogens? Pathogens are microorganisms that can cause disease. Question: name 2 non-specific defense systems in the body. The skin and mucus in the airways. Question: how does the stomach protect the body from pathogens? It contains acid that kills many microorganisms. Question: what is phagocytosis? It is the process where white blood cells engulf and digest pathogens. Question: what do antibodies do? They attach to specific pathogens and help destroy them. Question: why does vaccination prevent disease? It prepares the immune system to recognize and destroy the pathogen quickly. Question: do antibiotics work against viruses? No, antibiotics only work against bacteria. Question: what is antibiotic resistance? It is when bacteria change and are no longer affected by an antibiotic. Question: why is it important to complete a course of antibiotics? To make sure all bacteria are killed and reduce the risk of resistance. Question: what is the difference between painkillers and antibiotics? Painkillers reduce symptoms but do not kill pathogens, while antibiotics kill bacteria. Question. Why will a doctor not give antibiotics for flu? Because flu is caused by a virus and antibiotics do not work against viruses. Question. Why will a painkiller not cure an infection? Because it only reduces symptoms and does not kill the pathogen.